not naturally a brunette.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know if you read between the lines, and specifically like chapters 2 and 3, you can find a lot that really implies that Rika is not naturally blue-haired. Sorry, what did you think was up? Anyway, we're back. We're having fun. We're very close to the end of this chapter, apparently. So it wasn't a quick and tidy one. So let's carry on here. It was an accident that happened in such a small village that anyone could forget. One day after the tragedy had come to a close, just as the scars had begun to heal, a young man thinks nostalgically of the little girl he once met. The words he couldn't ask that day, the promise he couldn't fulfill that day, those regrets and lamentations opened the fate that was sealed and became a single hope. Himatsubushi. Time-killing, right? Fate isn't only about happiness, but there's no one that would wish for unhappiness. Tell that to me. Tell that to my depression brain. And we're already back in the future.
Back to the future.
So now, presumably, Akasaka is wondering, going to Oishi to figure out, like, hey, what was it you were trying to tell me that night? The thing that he apparently was waiting around to tell Akasaka, that Rika went out of her way to make sure Oishi wouldn't be able to share. Wonder what it could be. Oh, hey, is this Akasaka's kid?
Probably.
Oh, do you want to be Akasaka's kid?
Yeah. Papa, are you there, Papa?
Huh? Oh.
Are you all right? Were you having a scary dream?
Miyuki was sitting next to me. I quickly patted her head after hearing her say that. See, they did get the Yukie in there.
Yep.
That's very cute. Must have had a bad dream while sleeping in the cabin. I was sweating profusely. Oh, she's coming with him on the trip. That's nice. No, it's nothing. I guess it's a little hot in here. I tried to wipe away the sweat while answering and looked around for a handkerchief or towel. And then a cold drop ran down my forehead. Miyuki turned to me and smiled, then wiped my face with the towel she received at takeoff. Thanks, Miyuki.
Of course.
Thanks to her, I was finally able to shake off my slumber, so I got up from the aisle seat and looked out the window. And Miyuki's like, what, almost 7 right now?
I don't recall.
Right, because she was being born back we flashed back 7 years ago to just before she was born.
Okay.
And now we're back in the right, so she's either 7 or just about to be. I wrapped my arms around Miyuki in the window seat and listened to the noise as the land and sea blew past us before our eyes.
Wow, it's Hokkaido. Hokkaido is so big.
And then the plane gently turned before entering the airport runway. Arriving at the lobby, I glanced around looking for Ooishi and was met with a familiar gruff voice calling out to me. Akasaka-san! Hey! How many years has it been, huh? Been a while, ain't it? Ooishi-san, it really has been a long time. Ooishi clapped his hand down on my shoulder, celebrating our reunion. Akasaka-san, you look pretty good. You look like a bona fide frontline investigator now. You're looking quite dapper yourself. Your posture seems a lot better as well. Is the ballroom dancing paying off? You should give it a try while you're still young. You'd be a hit with the ladies. A real babe magnet, huh? Ooishi had retired and moved to Sapporo, and of all things had started taking ballroom dancing lessons. Aight.
Groove fiend Ooishi.
Taking care of his mom, doing ballroom dancing. Not a bad retirement. He had apparently gotten really into it and decided to spend the rest of his new life devoted to that hobby. Still wearing a banana suit, though. He was aiming to get his instructor qualifications before he hit 80 and live out his old age dandily. Oh, well now, who might this be? Ooishi suddenly turned his attention to Miyuki, who was standing idly next to me. He bent down on his knee to look her in the face. Are we gonna get Miyuki spray? However, my daughter was frightened and hid behind my back. Because I taught her well. Come on, Miyuki, please introduce yourself properly. She was staring at Oishi with a dubious expression while tugging at the hem of my shirt. Why did you bring her on this little social trip anyway? I guess this isn't for work, so why not father-daughter time? But it's still weird to be like, hey, you want to come meet a guy I'm going to go chat with about the time we almost both died? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying don't bring your daughter with you if it's, if it's kind of like a low stakes thing, but also you would be forgiven for being like, this is something I maybe want a little bit of, alone time on.
Yep.
She's usually not this shy. I wonder what's wrong. I'm sorry about that. She's usually not like this. No, oh, it's no problem. This old man just has a scary face. Heard that somewhere once. If you don't mind, could you tell me your name, youngin?
I'm Mamorou Akasaka. I'm 7 years old. Nice to meet you.
Great. That was a good introduction. I'd expect no less from Akasaka-san's daughter. Oishi gently stroked Miyuki's head and smiled as though she were his own grandchild. I still don't trust him around kids, but on some level, it's like, okay, it was just nothing personal. He just really thought Keiji was a piece of shit. After finally seeing that, Miyuki smiled in relief. Shortly afterwards, Miyuki told me that she was just doing what I had told her to do, to be careful around strangers. Oishi overheard that and let out a hearty shaking his body while laughing and walking. I let myself into Oishi's car and we headed out toward the Hot Spring Inn.
Hot Springs episode!
Hot Springs episode! Fuck yeah! I had originally intended to crash at Oishi's place, but he was quite obstinate that his home wasn't suitable for that, so it came to this. Right, because he's taking care of his mom, and it's probably like, you could in an emergency, but like, honestly, that's probably, if his mom's even older than he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. She's probably getting up there. At the end, we relaxed while soaking in the hot springs, then ate a delicious feast until we were full. Miyuki had a little of the Mongolian barbecue and was delighted with it. What did she sound like when she was delighted?
I'm delighted.
Wow.
Wow.
After our bellies were swollen, Miyuki grew sleepy and went off to bed. Then Oishi and I reminisced about the time we played Mahjong together in Hinamizawa. It seemed that to celebrate our reunion, Oishi had looked for people who could play, but unable to find a suitable candidate, we had to give up on putting together a table. As we drank together, we excitedly recounted our exploits during the final manhunt. Did they ever end up catching those two guys? Why does Oishi
Vacation Oishi!
Why does Oishi get an alt outfit? Okay. All right. So now he's no longer a banana man, now he's a blueberry man. Nope. In the end, the search team never did find him. They were probably hidden by the villagers, then sent overseas to someone else far away to lay low for a while. Oishi, if I remember correctly, you managed to grab one of their guns, didn't you? Did you learn anything from that? I did. It was a foreign military pistol. It's probably from the ones the gangs in Kansai managed to smuggle in a ton of. I tried to get a match from the rifling, but didn't show up in any other cases. How about on your end? Well, after that, I was removed from the front lines, so I don't know too much. In the end, it seems like everything was settled under the veil of secrecy, huh? Oishi smiled wryly as he sipped his chilled drink. What happened after that, That sure was tough, huh? What has it been, 7 years now? Yeah. We held the memorial service a few days ago. I've become estranged with my father-in-law lately, so it was rough getting everything ready. Did I get that backwards, or?
I don't think so.
Oh. Yukie died, huh?
Maybe.
He's a single father and became estranged with his father-in-law. Oh, my God.
And explain why he's bringing his kid.
And he also explained about, like, his father-in-law, who seemed to genuinely like him a lot, because, like, oh, you weren't here when she was... Did she die giving childbirth? Oh, no. Must have been a lot of work. Yeah, because if they held the memorial service a few days ago and she just turned 7...
Yep.
You could do the math. It was then the hostess brought in the extra drinks that we had ordered before. While the bottles of beer clanked as she brought them in, we halted our conversation. What Oishi meant when he said that must have been tough. Thinking about that was still hard, but time had healed the wound. It was the day after, when I phoned Oishi to apologize. When I did, he almost immediately handed the phone to one of my colleagues who happened to be there. Not only was I injured in the brawl with the suspects, but I disappeared to drink late into the night without leaving any sort of contact information, so I thought he'd definitely be mad. However, all he said was that it was something he couldn't talk about over the phone, that I should come to the station as soon as possible. Oh, I'm beginning to get a theory now.
The theory?
Was Oishi trying to tell him that he had a message from the station that he needed to come in and receive it in person? Because they knew that evening that his wife had died in childbirth and that he needed to get back to Tokyo.
I don't know, it'd be odd based on the conversation that Oishi had with Oishi being like, "Oh,
yeah.
you're here while your wife is giving birth. Oh, I'll stop pressing you to stay here."
Yeah. Weird thing. At the time, I could only think that he must have been really pissed off. But when I arrived at the station, he said this.
It seems your wife was involved in an accident.
Having no idea what happened, I borrowed the phone to contact the hospital Yukie was staying at. After being given the runaround several times, I was finally able to talk to someone in charge, and after mincing words for quite some time, they told me.
Yukie Akasaka died in an accident.
Oh. Alright, early theory here. Rika tried to prevent him from having that news that night because he was in such a emotionally heightened and charged state. When she was calling him a coward, she was talking about something she'd seen him done before. Something incredibly cowardly, and she wanted him to not receive that news until another time when there were more people around him. I'm wondering if in the other variants of this that Akasaka committed suicide.
That could explain why the chance of his survival was very low.
Yeah, and why Rika was so, it was so important that he not receive the news that evening, and that he take some time to work through, get a couple positive feelings in, come back in with a clear head the next day, his sun's out, he's got co-workers around him, people around him when he receives the news.
Could be.
The world became a blur as I sat there dumbfounded. Yukie's death was unbelievably abrupt, unbelievably sudden. I could have understood if there was some kind of problem during the birth, but Yukie's death wasn't anything like that. On the stairs, on the way up to the roof, she just happened to slip and fall. What? Why was she pregnant and then going up the stairs and then without anyone with her? That she was captivated by the sun that evening, right? Really like the night sky. She was like, we saw that last scene of her looking out the window and being like, but that's still an odd place to find her.
At the same time, patients do all kinds of things.
That's true. She just happened to fall on an unfortunate place at an unfortunate angle. That was it. Wanting to blame Yukie's death on somebody, I began to think that it was an act of revenge by the Guardians, that they killed my wife and made it look like an accident. What I learned when I flew back to Tokyo, however, was much more cruel than that. Yukie had a habit of going up to the roof to cool off in the evening. There was an elevator up to the 7th floor, but from there you had to take the stairs to get to the roof. Even later in her pregnancy, when the evening came, she would always head up there. Her father had always said for her not to push herself, but Yukie insisted that until the time she had no choice but to stay in bed, she should be allowed to do as she wished. However, I had never once seen Yukie go up to the roof. I only heard that from her father and the nurses. That was because whenever I visited her, she would spend that time with me instead. So, Miyuki was probably delivered by emergency C-section then or something.
Yep.
She
and if Akasaka had taken the advice to go back to Tokyo and had been here on this day instead.
He would have been there with her.
And she probably wouldn't have gone up the roof.
I heard the reason why Yukie went up to the roof from a nurse she had become friendly with. She had said that her husband was away on business a lot at the time, and that whenever he called, she was able to cheer him up and give him courage. But when he didn't call, she couldn't do that. Her husband might put on a show of bravado, but in reality, he grew lonesome pathetically fast. She was probably just the same. Whenever he left for business, not clear when he'd be back, she just felt very lonely. Whenever she cheered him up, she was actually cheering herself up as well. That's why whenever he went far away for an important job, on the evenings he didn't call, at the very least she felt that standing underneath the same sky, her feelings would reach him. At that moment, I remember the words that girl had told me, that it was best that I go back to Tokyo right away. Oh no. In Rika's mind, I wonder if she thinks that death is inevitable. But Akasaka thinks of it as if only I had been able to call her that night. But if it was as simple as that, then Rika probably wouldn't have cut all the phone lines, right?
Probably. Unless she wants more people to die.
I believe it or not, I don't believe Rika wants more people to die.
Fair enough. It's an option.
But it was best that I go back to Tokyo right away, otherwise there'd be something I'd regret horribly. That's it. Because I was away on business that day, Yukie had headed up to the roof. Had I known that this would have been the result, had I done as the girl had said and dropped everything to head back to Tokyo, I might have been with Yukie on the day she died. If I was with her, she wouldn't have gone up to the roof. The day my wife died was on the evening of the third day of my trip. Yes, it was right before the time I had the sudden urge to hear her voice, and ran around the village trying to find a phone. The girl had gone around and cut all the phone cords. If she hadn't and I had made that call, I would have undoubtedly learned of Yukie's death at that time and collapsed in tears. Okay, so it's saying because it was at very late in the evening, she would have already been like, all right, today's a wash, I'm going to go upstairs for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, even though the cords were cut, it had only put me off learning Yukie's death by that one evening. In the end, I had learned of it the next morning. However, when I managed to put my emotions in order, I realized it was that girl's small token of consideration. Well, that's the first I heard about that. Yeah, it's the first time I've talked about it. Could it have been a coincidence or something? She don't have any special powers or nothing. Aren't you the one who told me, Oishi-san, that she might be the reincarnation of the god called Oyashiro-sama? Well, yeah, of course. The old folks in the village believed that Rika Furuta had divine powers. Divine powers? Oishi had originally said it as a kind of a joke, but realizing that I was serious, he slumped his shoulders. I don't know if it's the truth or not, but they said she did things like prophesize the future or talk about things she would have no way of knowing. And she was clairvoyant, that it was a divine revelation. Well, all sorts of things, I suppose. Of course, they couldn't give specific examples, though. She prophesized Yukie's accident. Oishi tried to laugh it off, but out of respect to my deceased wife, he kept it restrained. Does that mean an active and capable investigator from the Metropolitan Police Department believes in divine powers and curses? Having him say that so bluntly, I couldn't respond. Of course, I had no intention of believing such odd things, but he could only say that because he didn't know what I did. Since I met that other girl who was and wasn't Rika Furuta, I couldn't deny the existence of any otherworldly entity. Of course, I can't deny it might not have been prescience, but rather a warning. Not prescience, but a warning. If what that girl had said was a warning about Yukie's accident, then things became much easier to understand. Basically, the line of thinking became that it was a threat. Because I didn't go back to Tokyo, my wife was killed in a way that made it look like an accident. You ain't satisfied with the investigation into your wife's accident? Well, I mean, of course I suspected foul play. I pored over the results myself and even carried out my own personal investigation. There weren't any witnesses to Yukie's fall. There was the possibility that somebody had hidden, waiting to push her down the stairs. However, the cleaning ladies frequented the roof to hang laundry, and the security cameras on each floor hadn't recorded anything out of the ordinary. There wasn't anything set up on the stairs, and I was unable to find anything suspicious. In the end, even after my personal investigation, I can't think that anything else happened other than a simple accident. Ugh. Well, of course. These were the guys that took the minister's grandson hostage, after all. It wouldn't be impossible for them to push a lone pregnant woman down the stairs without leaving any evidence, right? Oishi's expression had completely sobered up. They murdered your wife? When Yukie died, I thought that as well. More precisely, I wanted to blame somebody. So I created the most viable scapegoat. But without any clear evidence, that violent notion faded along with the wounds in my heart. Did that girl know beforehand about my wife's death and was threatening me with it, or did she prophesize the death and was offering me a road to salvation? I had to choose between the two. I would tend towards the latter. Also, do you see that very angry expression on his face?
Yep.
We rarely see Oishi lose his composure that badly.
Yep.
That would, like, it as much of a shit as he is, he very rarely gets angry unless he's trying to intimidate someone. That seemed to be him completely caught off guard by that idea. Oishi smiled lightly in disbelief as he poured more beer from his bottle. Then, if I may, if what you say is true, then Rika Furude was a prophet who knew the future. If so, why didn't she predict that disaster? She knew the gas eruption was going to happen. Why did she remain silent? Even a few hours beforehand would have been enough. If the village knew, then most of the people would have escaped without dying. So we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like the Great Hinamizawa disaster again occurs. In the last one, he was listed as missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's clearly not missing here. He's here in Hokkaido, but let's see. It was near the end of June 1983. Volcanic gases from the Unagafuchi swamp erupted and hit the village in the middle of the night. Great Hinamizawa disaster in memoriam list. Okay. It was an unprecedented disaster where the whole populace was wiped out. The whole populace, not even a sole survivor this time. Caused a wave of panic about volcanic gas across the country, causing people to overreact over any reports of odd smells, and heard of the blockade on the Hinamizawa area being lifted, so it should still be cordoned off. That's, It was my turn to be lost for a response. Well, I mean, that's what it was showing us in the last things, right? We talked about this after we stopped recording, that whatever it is that's giving Rika these prophetic abilities is not perfect. Sometimes she's stubborn and brings an umbrella when it's clear and she knows it's going to rain, and sometimes it does, but sometimes it still doesn't. Right?
Mm-hmm. But also there's something more basic going on here too. Oishi asks, why didn't she prophesize this disaster? What did we hear her talk to Akasaka about?
That year that she would die.
Yeah, so she definitely prophesized that stuff would go wrong.
Yep. It's just a matter of, she might not even, because she's the one, she dies, she might not even know the scope of what happens up until then.
And that's true as well.
Right.
It just seems like you know, something has been left out in this conversation with Oishi here. She sure did prophesize that
exactly
some bad stuff would be going
happen,
down.
but the way she prophesied it made it seem like it would be her and only her.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like there's one piece of this puzzle that just ain't fitting. Well, is this Oishi or?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Oishi-san. Right. Well, Rika Furude, the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, was killed, and the village might have incurred the god's wrath, making him call forth the miasma from a swamp to kill everyone. That explanation there is what the survivors are whispering about. I'm sorry, Oishi-san, did you just say she was killed? Well, sure, everyone in the village was. Huh? Oh, yeah, well, I don't think it'd be a problem if I told you. Oh, but she was killed right, because remember the last time we saw it, she was killed before the gas even happened.
Yep.
Right? She didn't die from gas, she died from being dismembered and left for crows to feed upon.
Yep, sure did.
Woo!
Although, do you remember anything about how she described the death that she prophesied?
She said either on that day or a few days later, I died.
About the method, did she say anything?
Oh, shoot, I don't remember. Did she specify a method when she was talking?
She said it would be kind.
That it would be kind?
Or something along those lines. That she wouldn't suffer.
That she wouldn't suffer.
Something like that. I don't have the exact wording, I'm sure.
Well, I'll have to go back and like when I do a rewatch, I'll go back and pay more attention to her exact wording on that, because you're right, I didn't internalize that.
Kind of interesting that it turned out that it seems like you'd probably suffer getting dismembered and left out for crows.
Well, did she die from being dismembered, or was she killed then dismembered?
True.
Right, like maybe it was a peaceful death, and then her body was displayed. Because like clearly her body, no matter how she died, her body was displayed.
Yep.
Right. When I saw the news about the gas disaster, I remembered that girl. I then found her name in the list of victims. That's why at the time I thought her own death she had predicted was due to the gas. So after that, I learned from the tabloids of the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa during the 5 years leading up to the disaster that became known as the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. And that string of mysterious deaths lined up exactly with what that girl had predicted. So I'd always thought to ask Oishi about it, as he had been involved in the investigation. That's right. That was the reason for our reunion, right? But right now, Oishi had said, Rika Furude didn't die in the disaster, but was killed? Can I ask you about the last year of the curse? Well, I may be retired, but I still gotta keep some things confidential, you know? Excuse me, madam. You got anything that's cold that's brewed locally? High grade if there is. I'll leave the selection to you.
I think you swapped it.
I swapped. I thought that was Oishi deciding like, yeah, I'll tell you, but I'm gonna order. Excuse me, madam. Do you have anything cold that's brewed locally? High grade if there is. I leave the selection to you. Right, because he's buttering Oishi up with some...
Yep. Fancy liquor.
Well, oh my, I didn't mean it in that way. Oishi laughed loudly, not wholly unsatisfied, and stopped the hostess to tell her that the cheap booze was fine. I know about as much as was written in those magazines. But, I ain't know anything about the curse that happened the year of the disaster.
Okay. Is this swapped
again?
again?
Yeah, swapped again. I know as much as was written in those magazines, but I don't know anything about the curse that happened the year of the disaster. Well, it's because the entire area around Hinamizawa was sealed off, you see? There weren't much of an investigation that could be done on the last year of the curse. Even if after several years the quarantine is lifted, the villagers are mostly dead. What few survivors there were mostly went to stay with relatives, with whereabouts mostly unknown. Oh, that's different. That's different, because that's multiple survivors, not a single... Yeah, right? Like, with Keiichi, it was in the last chapter, it was a big deal that Keiichi was the only survivor.
Yep.
And this one, there's like a couple of them. Okay. It's a complete dead end. Oishi seemed to postulate to himself as he stared at the ceiling as if trying to work out a memory from the rusty cogs in his head. And then he said, in a completely sober voice, "The magazines made it seem like the curse of the 5th year was that disaster, but the actual curse really happened on the day of the Watanagashi festival. A photographer by the name of Jiro Tomateki. He was the victim." Oishi gestured about how the victim tore out his own throat with his fingernails as he talked. "And the burnt corpse of the woman Tomateki was in a relationship with was found somewhere in the mountains of Gifu. The Gifu prefectural police weren't very cooperative, so I ain't know much about it." "There were 2 victims in one night?" "Oh, well, actually, you see, it weren't just those 2. See, the next day, Kumagai-kun, one of my subordinates, disappeared along with his car in the middle of his investigation."
No, Kuma-chan.
Not Kuma-chan. That's very new.
Yeah.
We hear about him going missing in the last chapter, but him going entirely missing the next day.
With the car.
With the car. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think Kumagai was a very important cog in this machine, but...
I think you're right, too. We barely know anything about who he is.
Yeah. Kumagai was a younger detective that was going to be partnered with Oishi after we first met. He was, going around the village to question people about the incident with Tomateki. He, might have gotten caught up in something. If he was with me, he might have been safe, but even now it still stings. Do we remember any bits of him going around with Oishi in the first 3 chapters and like what specifically they were asking about?
We don't.
To double check that when I'm rewatching. That day, for some reason, I did a real number on my stomach. I had to pass on going around outside. He got too close to the truth and was made to disappear? Well, that's what I think. Kuma-chan was young and had a promising future ahead of him, but he still didn't have enough experience on the scene. He wasn't used to dealing with any complications. Oishi lamented the fact that he wasn't with his subordinate that day. And then the next day, you see. Oh, you know him as well, Akasaka-san. You know Dr. Erie. Remember him? Oh, yeah, that young doctor from the hospital? I vaguely remember. For whatever reason, he committed suicide with sleeping pills. No suicide note or nothing. The autopsy confirmed that it was the sleeping pills, too. Nothing was in doubt except for the motive. Okay, so that's the same, and it's also interesting that he did die from sleeping pills. It wasn't killed and then staged.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. It isn't that hard to make it look like someone died from sleeping pills, is it? Any possibility it was a murder? He was single, no prior marriages. It didn't seem like he was going out with anyone in particular. He was coach of the local junior baseball team and was on good terms with the villagers. He was basically liked by everyone. I couldn't find anyone who'd want him to do him harm. Well, and a chance to investigate were ruined by the disaster, though. Ain't no way to find out anything about him now. Then, what about Rika Furude's death? It was that day. Around noon, you see, some of the old folks who were visiting the shrine discovered the corpse of Rika Furude. And the old folks discovered it, not Keiichi. Keiichi's name hasn't come up at all, actually.
Yeah, it hasn't. It's funny.
Murder? Before we continue, you should probably stop eating that squid somen. Just doing you a favor. That bad, huh? Oishi nodded firmly. The corpse was found on the shrine grounds, next to the donation box. Well, she was probably killed somewhere else. Because while she was completely naked, there weren't any dirt on the soles of her feet. Any sign it was some sort of sexual assault? According to the autopsy, there weren't no indication of it. What we do know is that she was rendered unconscious by some sort of drug. Sounds like a peaceful. Yep.
Yeah.
Carried to that place, then had her abdomen sliced wide open. Her organs were deliberately removed and scattered about. Unconscious, huh? Then she wasn't cut open after her death? That's horrible. That girl's prediction was right on the mark. Pretty sure she was more detailed about how the other deaths led up to her own. For example, I think she said the housewife that was beaten to death on the 4th year had her head split open. Then in that case, did she know that her own death would be so terrible? Must have been some moments where she wanted to doubt the validity of her own predictions, but as people died exactly as prophesized, as the years passed, that prophecy would only come closer to fruition. And then facing that final year, unable to struggle against her own destiny, her all-too-young life was snuffed out. And in such a cruel way. Knowing that her days were numbered, and unable to fight the tide of events heralding her end, my heart ached at her helplessness. About the way she died, it seems like it wasn't just someone with sick tastes. What I'm saying is, I told you before about Hinamizawa used to be home to demons, ain't I? Yeah, I think I remember. Well, the festival in Hinamizawa village, Watanagashi, the cotton drifting, seems to stem from the drifting of entrails. Seems it came from the man-eating demons ripping apart their victims and throwing their organs into the river. In other words, in Hinamizawa, pulling out entrails had some sort of religious meaning? Well, this here's according to the old tales in Hinamizawa, you see. To act as an arbitrator so that the humans and the man-eating demons could live together peacefully, a god known as Oyashiro-sama descended from the heavens. If I recall, Rika Furude was said to be the living incarnation of that Oyashiro-sama, wasn't she? Yeah, she was. So cutting open Rika Furude, who was a living god, would be to the village nothing less than absolute sacrilege. Absolute sacrilege? In other words, you mean sacrilege toward Oyashiro-sama? Well, the rest you should know, Akasaka-san. The wrath of Oyashiro-sama would occur that same night. The great Hinamizawa disaster, huh? The official explanation was that some swamp upstream erupted with toxic volcanic gas, which enveloped the village. The swamp where it erupted was called Onagafuchi Swamp. It was the origin of Hinamizawa's old name, Onagafuchi Village. According to village lore, the depths of the swamp were apparently lead to hell, where man-eating demons come from. That almost seems too perfect, doesn't it? Oh, no. That there just the tip of the iceberg. There was another bit of folklore in the village as well. If Oyashiro-sama became angry, the cauldron of hell would open up and miasma would flow out, or so they say. To the villagers, hell was at the bottom of the swamp, so basically the miasma poured out and smothered the village? Yeah. Basically, due to the sacrilegious way that Rika Furude, the living incarnation of Oyashiro-sama, was killed, the village incurred the wrath of Oyashiro-sama in the form of that disaster. That seems to be their explanation. So what you're saying is that the disaster wasn't a natural one? Well, you see, everything does seem to fit together a little bit too well. If Oyashiro-sama's curse doesn't really exist, and everything really was just a matter of coincidence, then I would doubt it. A wry smile formed on Oishi's face as he listened to my absurd take on things. Oh wait, no, that was him saying that he would doubt it. That was Akasaka saying he would doubt it. He wore an expression as though even if it were absurd, there was a time he had thought the same thing as well. Okay, this is Akasaka, then Oishi responding. In regards to the religious beliefs of the villagers, suppose there was a more fanatical group among them, and that group created a situation that would incur Oishiro-sama's wrath and enacted the disaster to make it seem like the truth. Of course, I won't laugh. I wandered down that same line of reasoning more than once myself. However, even though Hinamizawa is a small village, it still has a population of over 1,000 people. To murder that many folks in a single night don't seem realistic, no matter how you think about it. The gas eruption was believed to have happened around 2 a.m., several hours before dawn. And in that short amount of time, going around and killing all the villagers in a way that made it look like poison gas didn't seem feasible at all. Well, the swamp gas that erupted still had some religious significance, didn't it? If that's the case, then maybe there was something set up in the swamp. Something that could be activated whenever a divine verdict was rendered. According to the JSDF press release, the swamp was declared the source of the eruption. It was after everything was thoroughly looked over by their investigative team. If anything like that was set up, I think they would have found it. Oh, wait. I got him backwards again?
I don't think so. I think this is
This is Akasaka? Yeah, okay. It wouldn't necessarily have to be in the swamp itself. Come on, haven't you heard about it? The old story about how when a faraway spring dried up, the village spring dried up as well? Well, what do you mean by that? Well, many waterways are connected by underground aquifers, right? Swamps and springs are only the parts that manage to pop above the surface. Huh. So what you're saying is that Onagafuchi swamp is connected to another swamp or spring somewhere, and something the villagers rigged up there long ago. Something that changes the pressure of Onagafuchi swamp, causing it to erupt with poison gas? Is that what you're trying to claim? Oishi laughed heartily, commending the fact that the youngins have a nice flexible way of thinking. That was the former detective in him. Even though it was a hypothesis that he didn't come up with, he still had the presence of mind not to dismiss it right away. That's an interesting theory you have there. That proves to be true, then it would be unprecedentedly the largest mass murder in the history of Japan. Once the quarantine on Hinamizawa village is lifted, I think it should definitely be investigated. Oishi-san, do you still have any connections with the redacted prefectural police? Somewhat. I'm an honorary advisor for their judo classes, so even now I pop by during summer training camps and such. I don't know when the quarantine will be lifted, but please let me help investigate. You got it. Oishi-san, how do you feel about the string of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa they call the Curse of Oyashiro-sama? Well, at the time, the villagers were putting a lot of pressure on the station. The official stance on things was that the cases were unrelated, that each case was separate, each with its own resolution. But that couldn't be, right? Even though it was blatantly obvious that the cases were connected based on the village's religious beliefs. Akasaka-san, we can only say that now because of the rather grandiose way things ended after 5 years. At the time, those coincidental incidents just happened to coincidentally occur on the day of Watanagashi. Is his necklace... Oh no, that's an apostrophe. I thought his necklace was cutting off a letter before the... it would be nice if nothing happened this year kind of feel to it. Coincidence? The girl predicted everything from the beginning. Girl? Rika Furude. A child warned me about every incident that would happen afterwards. Akasaka-san, is that true? Yeah, the girl said as much. Next year, the dam foreman would be killed, his corpse dismembered. Only that she warned me of all the events that would transpire the following years. Akasaka-san, when she told you all of that, what year was it? Well, when I met the girl, I was investigating the kidnapping incident, so June of 1978. The year before the dismemberment murder. Wrinkles formed between Oishi's eyebrows as he closed his eyes and began to digest what I had just told him. Akasaka-san, if you're wrong about Rika Furude knowing the future through some divine medium, this is getting ridiculous. Yup. If you're just trying to shock me, I'm going to be really angry, you know. I'm speaking the truth here. Then the script behind the chain of mysterious deaths was written a year before it even started, and just as predicted, Rika Furude was killed. At first I thought she meant that she would be killed in the disaster. However, now I know that her death wasn't due to that, but rather an atrocious one at the hands of a murderer. She'd said she would be killed. At that point in time, she knew more or less how her own death would occur. Then why didn't Rika Furude try and run away? Even if a death was already spelled out for her. Knowing that, she's still had a grace period of several years, ain't she? You have plenty of time to try and run away or consult the police. Why did she just accept her death with no resistance? I don't know. Even though Rika Furude was doted upon by the older folks in the village, you see. After she lost her parents, she had no living relatives and lived a fairly solitary life other than hanging around with some close friends. Might have been she didn't have any power to fight or anyone to rely on. She must have tried signaling someone for help in regards to her own death, though. You know very well the village and the police weren't very amicable toward one another, Akasaka-san. Something on your mind? Yeah, you did a lip smack.
Oh, that was actually an accident.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, did I not let you interrupt when you needed to? I'm sorry.
No, I was going like this with my face, and it accidentally made an audible
funny
sound.
I haven't jumped in yet because I want to finish this conversation between the two of them because they're throwing out so many things that we have talked about.
Yep.
And like I want to see where they end up before I weigh in here.
Yeah.
At the very least, I ain't heard anything about Rika Furude seeking protection from no one. Do you like my Oishi thing where every single version of a word is the negative version? Or maybe it could be she simply resigned herself to being a religious sacrifice. Could have been something like that. There's no way that was the case. I spoke decisively. At that time, she said it. She had definitely said that she wanted to live happily. That she wanted to spend her time surrounded by her dear friends. That she hadn't given up on life. That she'd hoped to keep on living. At that moment, I became dumbstruck. What's the matter? Akasaka-san? No, it's nothing. I fell into silence. Oishi folded his arms and began murmuring in contemplation again. Eventually, he stood up and headed toward the hallway to find the hostess, yelling that he wanted a pen and paper. When Oishi, noisy even though he was just thinking, left, the room immediately fell into a chilled silence. I stood up. It was then that I realized I was drunk enough to be unsteady on my feet. When I slid open the window, a beautiful yet somehow ephemeral moon drifted across the night sky. It was just now that I realized. She hadn't accepted her own death. She wanted to keep living. Happily and joyously. She had said that quite clearly to me, but I was a fool. I hadn't been asked explicitly, so I hadn't realized it. She made it clear as day that she didn't want to die. Wasn't that her cry for help? She didn't say as much that she wanted help, but even given that, it wasn't as though she wasn't looking for salvation. Without any family, unable to trust the police, she instead told somebody without any relation to the village, somebody from a faraway place. Me. And then I proceeded to do jack shit. Help me. She had gone around and cut the phone cords. If I had made that phone call and learned of Yukie's death, I probably would have fallen into despair. If I was in that state, even if she was looking for help, her cries would have fallen on deaf ears. That's why. Knowing everything, she had cut the phone cords. She wanted even a little time to seek help from me. Oishi, just before now, had lamented that one of the younger officers had gotten mixed up in a case, having been erased because he wasn't there. I was feeling the same way. If only I was there in June of 1983. I could have protected her. In 1983, it would have been 5 years since the kidnapping took place. While raising the only daughter Yukie had left me, putting all my youth and passion into my work, honing my wits and courage, wrestling with difficult cases, nothing like my failings during the kidnapping incident would have occurred. I wouldn't have been slow to react in a one-on-one fight. And by that point, I had jumped into a foreign mafia-run gambling parlors where I'd learned to deal with automatic weapons, let alone handguns. I had grown so much that in 1983, I couldn't have even been compared to how I was in 1978. That's why, if I was by her side, I should have been able to save her life. No matter what conspiracy or foul plots drew near, I definitely would have protected her. She, even though sounding resigned, should have still been able to ask me for help. I just didn't realize it. I just couldn't realize it. Just as I wouldn't have realized it if I was told of Yukie's accident, I wasn't able to realize it. I wanted to cry. If I had taken her words to heart, I would have prevented Yukie's accident, and I would have been able to protect the girl to whom I owed a debt of even a predetermined death. She must have been expecting that from me. I learned about the disaster while watching television in my house. Until I learned about that, I had forgotten entirely about Hinamizawa. In order to recover from the shock of Yukie's death, I had tried to remove everything about the place from my memory. An ungrateful fool I was. Even though in exchange for saving her, the girl had told me of a way to save Yukie, I was unable to accept her gratitude. And now here we were. I'm not sure that line of reasoning works, actually, because she didn't tell him about the specific prophesized deaths until the night where he had stayed only because the phone cords were cut.
Yeah.
So his give and take here is backwards.
Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to be very clear that this is definitely a little bit of grief mind in Akasaka's head here. This is this definitely could not have been how things were. She hadn't died in her sleep due to a natural disaster. She was split open while still alive, killed while suffering the disgrace of having her organs torn out. She must have known beforehand that on that day, on that year, she would be killed in such a terrifying way, but even knowing what end awaited her, she was all too weak. A lone girl without anyone to rely upon, unable to seek help, had to swallow her own predetermined death and left this mortal coil. She said she wanted to live. She said she just wanted to live happily. That's all that she wanted. She didn't ask for anything extravagant. For any person that was ever born, it was the very basest of desires. She never said a peep about wanting money or that she wished she was in somebody else's situation. She had said it, that if all deaths were preordained, then hers was probably also according to plan. She might have been a lone, frail girl, but I don't think she would have accepted it all without at least putting up a fight. Must have been, in some small way, some form of resistance that she mustered. And with what she could muster, seeking my help was part of that. God damn it! I howled. I stomped the floor. Why did I become a police officer in the first place? How could I call my officer if I couldn't save a single girl from the misfortune that was awaiting her? Was it because there was so much going on at the time that I couldn't process the fact she was asking for help? Yeah, that's right. I was still green, right? If I was in that situation now, I would have definitely been able to help her. She also didn't tell you she needed help.
Yeah, she didn't.
She didn't ask, like, you weren't... I think he's also being a little hard on himself here because he's got hindsight, right?
Yep.
Like, even in the most credulous of cases, you would have heard what she said, checked in on the village in a year and been like, huh, whoop, that's weird, okay. But at that moment, like, even if you were thinking about that, the next day you were then dealing with the fact that your wife was dead and raising a daughter by yourself. You don't, like, give yourself a little more credit, Akasaka. You were clearly a good father doing a hard job of raising someone alone. But it was already over. Even if I wanted to settle the regrets she left behind, Hinamizawa, as a dangerous area, was still quarantined. Most of the people involved were already dead. The few that did remain spread around the country, unable to be traced. The stage of that tragedy was still off limits as well. The police investigation was put on hold. the case slowly being buried within the sands of time. Just like how I wouldn't have known unless Oishi had asked me about it. Akasaka-san, you alright? At some point, Oishi had returned with a notebook in hand. Till I saw the expression on his face, I didn't realize that I was in tears. I never realized you wanted help. Akasaka-san, I need you to calm down, alright? But it's all too late now. She was killed in such an atrocious manner. She was counting on me, but I couldn't save her. I may also be at fault for not building up an amicable relationship with the village. If Rika Furude had told me about it, I might have been able to extend a helping hand. Wasn't able to build up enough trust for that, but there's something I do regret. When Oishi said the word trust, it weighed on me even more. Yeah. She had given me her trust. She trusted me, meaning that she thought I would have been able to ward off the fate of her foreseen death. She believed in that. I cried, fell to my hands and knees as I began to bawl. Eventually, Oishi spoke quietly. Akasaka-san, does that all upset you? It does. Then, there's only one way worth mentioning for Rika Furude to have her revenge, huh? Is there really? Is there a way to do that? Oishi showed me the pen and notebook. In order to properly mourn the death of Rika Furude, we have to at least find out the truth. The truth? Yes. And I ain't just talking about Rika Furude. Lots of people died. Their lament must be immeasurable. But their deaths were left unsettled because of that disaster, and now we can't even investigate them as the memory fades into oblivion. So many people died. The old man was killed, Kuma-chan was erased, everyone was a victim. But the police can't even investigate it. Who's gonna take care of their part and regrets? Only we can. Akasaka-san. We find the truth. Yeah, we will find it. I've been around every one of the string of mysterious deaths and know all of the inner workings of the village. You were told an important truth the year before they happened by Rika Furude. We, together, can do it. But they're already dead. That's right. Rika Furude is dead. You were too inexperienced, so you couldn't save her. Oishi grabbed me, who was a wreck, and lifted me firmly by the lapels. And that's why, to atone for that, we reveal the truth. If what you say is true, then all the incidents were part of some greater design. If that's the case, then how we investigate needs to change completely. I intend to spend tonight summarizing all the information you and I have. And I'll get in contact with one of my former subordinates first thing in the morning. We are not going to let this case go cold. We are definitely going to crack this wide open. Crack it open. Crack it open. We will. Several years have passed, but it ain't beyond the statute of limitations. Even if the case has been postponed, it is not closed. It is still going. We are going to keep it going. Yeah, you're right. Let's do it, Oishi-san. I won't let it end like this. I'm certain we will uncover the truth. We absolutely will. I demonstrated my resolve to Oishi by crying out those words. And just then,
Papa!
The sliding door behind me opened, and Miyuki revealed herself while sleepily rubbing her eyes. My shouting must have awoken her, then she rushed over to me.
What's wrong, Papa? Papa, why are you crying?
It's nothing, Miyuki. It's nothing. I'm just realizing another thing is that means that Akasaka was the one who picked out the name Miyuki.
Yep.
Tried hard to smile while wiping away my tears, and though Miyuki looked like she was about to cry herself, she extended her little hand to me.
Are you all right? Did you have another scary dream? Don't cry, Papa.
Does she have a sprite in the newer versions?
We find out.
Because I only asked because Oishi's sprite moved over like it was making room for her, even though it never showed up. So I just want to check something real quick.
Yep.
She does! Oh!
Hey, Miyuki.
Hello there, Miyuki. I'm so glad we got a chance to look at you. All right, away with you.
Begone to the land of the spriteless.
And when she makes that gesture toward me, I saw the figure of another girl overlapping with her. And her innocent gaze and innocent expression felt frustratingly nostalgic, filling me with painful torment. A girl who couldn't be here because I didn't reach out to her. She borrowed my daughter's body to offer me words of comfort.
Akasaka, please don't cry.
It might just be a hallucination. Maybe a convenient illusion formed from my selfish dreams, but however, that was her voice. I am certain I heard it. Rather than blaming me for my mistake, she was compassionate. Am I crying? After all, I have something more important to do than crying. Miyuki, before you were born, Papa met a girl in Hinamizawa who was like an angel.
An angel? Really?
Yeah, she was cute and kind. I wanted her to meet you someday. Right, that's already an impossible wish. That future is already gone.
Yeah, then I want to be friends with that girl.
Huh?
I'm looking forward to it. Next time you go, take me with you. To Hinamizawa.
Even so, there's still something I can do. Of course. We'll meet her together someday, I'm sure of it.
Yep.
Someday, I'm sure. We will see her again. That summer, the Higurashi cried in Hinamizawa. Oishi and I vowed to bring the truth of the case to light and stood up. Everything ended in 1985. I, at least, wanting to apologize, had searched for her grave. And after the state autopsy, her remains were entrusted to one of the shrine's followers. In the future, when the quarantine on the Hinamizawa area was lifted, they would be returned to her family grave. However, unsure who exactly took the remains of Rika Furude until today, I couldn't even apologize to her. In the future, when the quarantine on Hinamizawa is lifted, all I could do then was wait until whoever that person is returned to the grave. Mio.
Interesting.
She's still alive somewhere, we know that. Or, I would say that like it's for certain. Pretty sure she's still alive out there.
Interesting. Why would she have that body?
I don't know. Mio's weird.
That's true. If anyone was going to collect the remains of Hinamizawan children,
Mio's weird.
You wouldn't be surprised
She's
if
weird
it was
about
Mio.
Rika. What I could do right now was not apologize to her. Instead, until I was able to meet her again, I would reveal the truth and dispel her regrets. Even now, sporadic eruptions of gas in the Hinamizawa area meant the prospect of the quarantine being lifted wasn't happening anytime soon. Ooh, wait, that's interesting. Actually, no, that is still compatible with my theory, isn't it? Because my theory from was that it was caused by the chemical weapons stored there in Hinamizawa. And that the government was covering it up because, that would be a huge show of incompetence.
Mm.
And as we've seen, they are totally willing to cover up things that would make their own government look bad.
Yeah, we did get an object lesson in that this time around, didn't we?
So this would work in that they're claiming gas is still erupting and not letting anyone near. Right. Not that it's actually happening, but they're claiming it. Most likely, it seemed that she had no intention of meeting me again until I found the truth. That's why the quarantine wouldn't be lifted, or so I thought. Until the day I grasped the truth. It was the following year. Oishi and I co-authored a book on the string of mysterious deaths leading up to the great Hinamizawa disaster. Wait, Oishi was the author character all along? biggest fucking plot twist. The cop was the author.
And cops, plural.
Cops,
Both of
plural.
them?
Yes, you're right. Sorry. I decided on the title. Higurashi, When They Cry.
Title drop.
Title drop. That was because for those few days I was in Hinamizawa, the sound I remembered the most was the cry of the Higurashi. Could only wish, based upon this book, those people involved with that incident could refresh their memories and bring to light a new truth. Totally unrelated. Isn't someone reading a book called Higurashi When They Cry in Umineko?
I believe so, yes. I can't remember if it's a book that's referenced or if it's the TV show or if it's
I think
both.
in the anime, Maria's watching the TV show.
Mhm.
But I think in the VN, someone's reading a book, Higurashi When They Cry. And I thought it was just like, oh, the previous VN was fictional. But no, it's probably the actual book.
Yeah, it exists in its own universe.
The actual published book, Higurashi When They Cry. And more importantly, that nothing like this ever happens again. I wrote this in the afterword. Why did this tragedy happen? We can't reach the truth by ourselves. So were all these then epigraphs written by, yeah, those two. If you're reading this, please discover the truth. That is our only wish. Kuraudo Ooishi and Mamorou Akasaka. God dang! This year, the quarantine on Hinamizawa still hasn't been lifted.
Huh.
What? The fuck, man?
Seems normal, seems fine.
Normal and fine.
Ordinary stuff going on here.
A new scenario has been unlocked. All cast review session has become available. All right, let's do it. We're only an hour into this sode. You want to do the...
Sure.
Our only wish is the achievement. Continue waiting for the quarantine to lift. All cast review session.
Pretty small cast this time.
Yeah. But you can't forget the after party. Hey now, thank you very much for playing Higurashi When They Cry. Himatsu Bushi. My oh my, no matter what anyone else says, I was the star of the scenario this time. On top of that, they added some nice jazzy theme music. Can't laugh here, where can you laugh? Are they playing like monotone clock or something?
I don't know.
Again, if you've missed the part at the beginning, we don't have headphones on for this one because I've got a piercing healing in one ear, so I won't get to hear the audio until I'm actually going back and editing from in-game, so.
Anyways, hasn't there been too much of you lately, Oishi?
Huh? Wait, what do you mean by that? Rika-sa... Ugh!
She meant that literally.
Yeah, it's rather impudent of you to try and hog the spotlight here, even though you already had all the screen time.
Wait, wait, is this small Mion or? I just need to know. No, we're back to regular sized Mion.
Wait, are we? Hit close?
Yeah, that's regular sized Mion. She's taller. Remember smaller one? She had a sweater on. She was like about this tall on the screen.
Okay.
I also like how the log button. I don't know if I remarked on this. The log button is Rena.
Yeah.
All right, back to original sprites.
Besides Rika-chan, who was the main heroine, everybody else didn't really have any appearances, did they? I heard that this time the scenario was a bit of a side story, but I didn't think they'd leave out the main cast this much.
Ugh, you didn't have it so bad, Mion-san. At least you had a few appearances, did you not? Both Renaissance and I didn't even have a cameo.
No, they did say Sadako's name. I was paying attention for whether
Sadako's name was said
brought
once.
up.
Rena never was.
Rena was never brought up, and Shion was name checked, and Keiichi was never brought up.
Yep. Rena still shows up on the covers a lot, so she's still okay.
Huh? Exactly what are you trying to say, then? That was the only outcast with no appearance, is that it?
Nipa.
You can't keep getting away with everything by saying Nipa. They only treated me horribly.
How sad, how sad. They'll probably just keep treating you worse and worse until you finally drop down to a supporting role.
Rika! Why would you say that? It's just too much.
That's not true. There's lots of people who like Sadako-chan.
Yes, we are very... The Sadako Hojo has done nothing wrong fan club.
They won't treat you that horribly, okay?
I don't like being treated like this. Oh.
I think you'll probably have a lot of appearances next time. Next time. So cheer up, okay? But I'd heard that this scenario was supposed to be somewhat of a bonus story, but is it really? I think that things got kind of complicated. The story was difficult for me to understand.
You're the only one who it wasn't difficult. You're the only one for whom it wasn't difficult to understand, Rika.
Yeah, what I found the hardest to believe was that the year before the string of mysterious deaths, Rika-chan already knew about them. Which means all the incidents were part of someone's scenario. That's a pretty important piece of information. It's probably because I'm a shrine maiden, so I knew the future from Oyashiro-sama's divine revelations. For somebody like me who believes in the theory that it was the work of human culprits, I'd like to deny that. I believe in the curse, so that Rika-chan, who's the living incarnation of the deity that protects Hinamizawa, Oyashiro-sama, could have that divine power is a possibility, I think. Nope. For somebody who thinks it was the work of man, that kind of unfounded fantasy will not stand. All the incidents were caused by people. There's no curse, or magic, or aimbots, or cheat codes.
Oh, man.
It would be wonderful if I could use magic, though.
Fireball.
Ah! Why?
If it's Rika-chan, I could go along with that. Well, for the people who believe it was the work of humans, the ending was a big revelation. From the first incident until Rika-chan was killed in the Great Disaster, everything was scripted.
I mean, I don't agree with that either, but you know, it's so interesting that like the way that I like the way in the after parties the characters take some stuff that was shown and then go to position and then make it like that's the only way to interpret this as well.
Yeah, all of these present an excellent false dichotomy.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And it's like, because I'm thinking about what my own theory right now is going to wind up being when we get to the discussion episode, and I'm like, a little column A, a little column B, maybe not column C. Oh, this is still Mion, right?
Yeah, knowing that it's all one big incident vastly increases the amount of material you can hypothesize with.
Well, and just to be, like, the reason you can disagree with that is because the way I've been working on it is that it's been one original incident, then a series of copycats after that, for different reasons, right? Like, I'm not going to take down the whole thing here, but I think that theory is still intact after this chapter. You can go back and listen to the chapter 3 discussion if you want my breakdown on who I think the operative groups are right now.
I still think Mion's point is interesting, though, because if there's nothing wacky and supernatural going on,
yep,
then somebody already made those decisions in 1978, years before. So they'd already decided to copycat a killing before it happened.
So why does that necessitate that somebody made those decisions already? Because
Rika knows them.
Because Rika knows. Rika can tell the future. It's fine.
Okay, there we go. That makes everything really easy. If we accept that she is the divine incarnation of Oyashiro-sama and has the
Yep.
power of prophecy,
Yep.
then a lot of things get way less mystifying.
Yeah, it's, totally. That's the only explanation for what's up with Rika.
Yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely, she's got divine knowledge of the future, and that's the only explanation for that.
Yep.
That's the only one. So this is Rena here.
I think that the prophecy is proof in itself that Rika-chan has some divine power. In other words, it's proof that there's some mysterious power at work in Hinamizawa. I think it's proof that the incidents weren't the work of humans alone. The inside of my head is so muddled I don't know what's going on.
Got a Sadako ball stuck in there.
Oh, that's right. More importantly, that expression that Rika-chan was wearing this time, that was super scary, wasn't it? Meep. Yeah, I was surprised too. I never thought that cute little Rika-chan would laugh like that. Hey, just for a little bit, could you show us that face one more time? I don't want to. I don't want her to do that outside of the story. What is this, a blackout?
Nobody move. Any weird movements, you'll come face to face with synchronized Gatling guns, multiple homing missiles, and be cut up by laser sabers for the finisher. No.
Nobody move! Any weird movements, and you'll come face to face with synchronized Gatling guns, multiple homing missiles, and be cut up by laser sabers for the finisher.
Sadako, what's the meaning of this?
I'm tired of not being in the spotlight. We'll now be starting the after party for everybody who didn't have an appearance this time. Fuck all you.
Friendship canceled with Rika-chan. My new best friend is Mio.
We're both terrible.
Blondes who cause problems party.
Exactly.
Thanks for that wonderful introduction. Hello again, everybody. I didn't think I'd have an appearance here of all places.
Tomitake was also name checked
Yeah.
twice. Mio was name checked once at the very end.
Wait, was she?
She was brought up in the context of the person that Tomitake was seeing,
Oh, yep.
right? Her body
Yep,
was
yep,
found. Yeah, I think Oishi mentioned that.
True.
Yep.
I'm delighted, though. Sadako-chan, thank you. Whoa, hello, everybody. Ah,
Brr. Oh my! Didn't I warn you not to move?
Ryugu-san, are you alright? Hojo-san, you didn't have to go this far. Hold on, do they give her cool stuff in the new sprites? Nope, she just gets a snaggletooth! She gets a snaggletooth! Oh, that's so cute!
The grudge of someone not making an appearance is a terrible thing.
Sadako had lots of appearances in the main scenario.
Damn right I did.
The grudge of somebody not making an appearance. Damn it, when was she able to set this many traps?
Maybe that when this place was selected as the venue for the after party, at that point, my traps were already set.
Oh, I know, there's somebody behind you pulling all the strings. There is, isn't there? Come out.
Is it Shion?
Yes, we are the shitty girls trifecta.
Shion, Sadako, and Mio, causing problems on purpose.
Hello, my sister. How are you doing? Oh, it's Shi-chan. Hello. Gah!
What did I tell you about?
I feel sorry for her falling for the same trap twice. I thought it was you, Shion. Even though you get to be the main character for a scenario, this is how you behave. Now you've gone and done it. Even if it is only the bonus scene before the answer arcs, I can't let my sister have all the appearances. I'm not that generous, you know. Well, in any case, I just let Sadako start a little something. Shion, what is it that you want? Let's just say I'm securing myself a little safety buffer. The other day, for some reason, you were steadily getting more votes in the popularity poll. Yep, in the first half of the Watanagashi chapter, there were a lot of people getting infatuated with Mi-chan. When your malicious side made its appearance, all the players finally started noticing my charm. Sadako also earned a good reputation during the Tatarigoroshi arc. Rena and Rika-chan have a strong baseline of support. Your popularity has long since faded away. That's why I thought I'd take the time now to crush you and Sadako, who've been getting too many votes for my comfort.
What?
So I came up with this elaborate plan.
What?
This cunning plan.
Shion-san, what did you say just now? You're gonna crush me as well?
It's sheer elegance in its simplicity. You're a little slow to notice, aren't you, Shorty? Here you go. Goodbye, all you regulars. Hello to all you irregular folk. All the main characters are done for. Shion-chan, you don't have to go that far, probably. Now, Jiro-san, it's interesting, so just let it be. The number of appearances for the both of us is going to go up, you know. Jiro-san, do you not like being by my side? That's not true. Chie-sensei, did Shi-chan pay you off too?
I'm sorry, Ryugu-san. Shion-san said she would make me a new segment called Teach Me, Chie-sensei, starting from the next scenario. It'll show up whenever you get a bad end, and then I'll tell you essentially to go back to the last time you had an option and pick the other one. Except for those very few rare instances where you actually have to go back a very long way, and then the skip function is like really rather slow and you can't actually just skip ahead scenarios. I'm just saying it was a big problem in the remake, alright? Why can't I skip ahead to a scenario if I've already played up to it? I don't need to play all the way back from the 4th day just because I made one bad decision and didn't earn enough points with Arcuate, alright? Moving along.
Well then, who should I dispose of next in a most embarrassing manner? Maybe Sadako, since she helped me set all this up.
Huh? I won't allow that. Yeah.
Oh? I won't allow that. Hiya!
Ah, took the words out of my mouth.
Coach?
You seem somehow reliable for once.
I, Kyosuke Irie, shall not allow any aggression against Sadako-chan. I may also just be a supporting character, but don't think you can persuade me so easily. Oh, then you're saying you want to withdraw from being the lead in documentary, Sadako's maid training dress-up chapter that we planned on filming after this? Shion-sama, I, Kyosuke Irie, shall follow you to the depths of hell.
Motherfucker.
That was fast! Well then. With this, I'm holding all the cards.
The only one that could save us is Keiichi suddenly getting a Sprite. Isn't Oishi here just hasn't spoken up in a while?
Yeah. Even in this after-party scene, too, I'll have everything proceed as I see fit. Huh? We're missing somebody. Shion-sama, Ryugu-san isn't here. She escaped at some point.
There she is. Ryugu-san, didn't I just tell you you shouldn't move?
Rena-chan, I won't do anything to hurt you, but it's easier if you don't resist. Sorry, but all this is really bizarre. What are you trying to do? The Mayakashi script. I see. You're planning to secure your role before any of your lines get cut out, aren't you? The resistance is futile. Rena-san, you should stop your pointless resistance and just come along peacefully. If you make me angry enough, then not only will you suffer, but so will my dear sister as well. You can't do anything just by getting your hands on the script. Rena, I'm sorry, but just do what they say. It's alright, don't worry. Now that we have the Mayakashi script, we can reverse this situation.
Reverse the situation? Exactly what are you scheming?
Rena-san, you're pretty good at making me laugh. And why don't you go ahead and try? Show me how you're going to turn this around. You're spoiled, Shi-chan. Even if you didn't have any appearances in the main scenario, you've had so much screen time during this after party. You're spoiled. When exactly are you saying I was spoiled?
During a line that Oishi said during chapter 1 at some point, mentioning which one of the Sonozaki twins was it.
You don't understand, Shi-chan. Even if it's just the after party, you still have an appearance. You also appeared a lot in the previous scenarios.
Wait, if she's the main character, we're never going to get to see her sprite again.
There is somebody who resents you from the depths of hell, who can't forgive you. Listen, can't you hear it, Shi-chan?
That's right. I understand now.
I get it. Kei-chan! Oh shit, I forgot about him! That's right, he never has any appearances during the after parties. There's no way Kei-chan would allow somebody to monopolize the after parties all to themselves without him. I see. So, how is Kei-chan going to appear here when he's still at the studio recording lines? It's not as if anyone here will have surpassed his workload. That's just your self-centered way of thinking, Shi-chan. No. That's the voiced word count from Akasaka's part. Chie-sensei, hold Rena-chan back.
Huh? What?
It's too late. It's finally your time. Keiichi-kun!
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh!
That voice is Kei-chan? No way, he's still supposed to be recording lines at the studio.
Oh, you're right. I was until just now.
Every time I get left at the studio, I get told, oh.
Every time I get left at the studio, I get told you can join the after party if you beat someone on the remaining word count. But I always have 2 to 3 times the script volume of the other characters, making it impossible. It's like the sound director doesn't want me to join the party from the get-go. At least that's what I thought. But finally, someone overtook me, a certain character. Shion. Feast your eyes on this.
Huh?
That's right. Now she's appearing in more scenes as the main character. Shion has to speak twice the line she's had so far. And since Shion and Mion have the same VA cast, that's double again. As a result, I have finally been excused from staying back, meaning, Shion, it is your turn to be left behind.
No way! I have to speak this much for Mayakashi? Let's see. Kei-chan has about 500 and Shion has over 2,700. That's like the total for all the characters together in a normal adventure game.
Further, adding on Mion's lines makes a total of...
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
So, with that, Rena, you have my thanks when even the moon abandons the land and shrouds it in true darkness. The demon lord of the darkest black, Keiichi Maibara, shall appear.
I see. If it's like this, he can appear even if he doesn't have any character art.
There's no character or background art, so it's really easy on the production staff. Oh, and that was someone else. Whatever. Shion! You act like you're the main character in a tragedy, but from my point of view, it's more like a comedy. It seems you've gotten a little carried away. Every after party, always being last in the studio, missing every after recording meal. Witness my anger, my grudge, and all of my sorrow. I shall instill it upon you.
It almost seems like Keiichi-kun is doing some sort of bad guy transformation sequence.
This isn't some sort of transformation. I'll have you know I've always been a demon lord. And as of right now, this world which is enveloped within the true darkness shall dance upon the palm of my hand. Within this world of darkness, there are none who can oppose me.
Keiichi-kun is kind of scary.
Scary? The age of frightening Higurashi has come to an end. From here on out begins the dawn of a perverted and cutesy Higurashi.
What did you say? Oh, wait. Wait.
I don't know
Who is this?
I don't know.
First one was Mamorou-san. Oh, I bet this is Coach.
Oh yeah, it's probably Coach. Yeah.
What did you say? Mamorou-sama, bring me with you.
You know it, Coach.
Called it.
Then, as a first step, I'll show our Dr. Coom Coach my power. I pronounced it correctly. There's nothing funny about it. I pronounced it correctly. There's nothing funny. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my Coom power.
What is this? Oh. What is this?
Takano-san. Oh.
Takano-san is in a miniskirt nurse outfit, and it's not some pink one like you'd find in a galgay. He knows what he's doing. It's a proper pure and innocent white.
Even though she's a nurse, she doesn't appear. Oh wait, this is. I'm gonna throw a Oishkin here. Even though she's a nurse, she don't appear in the outfit even once during the main scenario. You gotta be kidding me. Well then. Oh no, this is Keiichi.
Yeah.
On to the next target. No. Rena! This hasn't changed the situation at all! It's just turned into a different type of
Rena, this hasn't changed the situation at all. It's just turned into a different type of crisis. I can't do anything in this darkness.
Now then, who should I make wear what next? Maybe a nice school uniform, gym clothes, school swimsuit triple combo!
Mamorou-sama, you're the best. How about a bunny girl or booth babe costume? No, a leotard could be good too. No, wait. How about just making everybody hyper sexy? But of course, leave the socks on.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually. You know your stuff, Coach. I feel like we're finally seeing eye to eye here.
Wait, Mamorou-san? No. Okay. Call me Eerie from now on. Call me Dr. Eerie.
Is that how they're translating him? Because this is actually the second time we've called him Dr. Eerie.
Yep.
He was Dr. Eerie in the game for the last one.
Yeah.
If you didn't play the games, you wouldn't get the callback.
Yep. The whole Soul Brothers thing from the mini games.
And him being just K.
Yep.
Yep. K, you can't forget about...
Kay, you can't forget about us.
Tommy and Cloud are already on your side, Kay. See? I knew playing the games would make some measurable impact on us.
Yeah.
Imagine not playing those scenarios and not understanding what was going on here.
The critically important Soul Brothers lore.
Tommy, Cloud, we're all finally here. The Elite Four have arrived. Finally. With K at their head, the evil Elite Four made their grand entrance. With the complete darkness, the Demon Lord of the Darkest Black, Keiichi Maibara, was finally able to reach the surface world. His magical power was without equal. In this darkness, no one could stand against him. All must bow. Will the heroines be unable to escape this darkness and be forced to submit to the will of the demon lord, forced to wear embarrassing outfit after embarrassing outfit, being used as a life-size dress-up dolls for all eternity? That's great. More! By the way, the school swimsuits are the classic type, right? I won't forgive you if they're the competitive swimming style. Damn it, Shion!
Damn it, Shion. Thanks to you, it ended like this, so do something about it. It's alright, sis. Kei-chan isn't the only one who can unleash their true power amid the darkness.
Huh? What?
Did we have such a convenient ally?
Oh, you're rather impertinent, Shion Sonozaki. Also, if you were expecting help from the principal, that's too bad. This is the ultimate desire of young men. If you call yourself a man, do your best is written on this nice little authorization slip here. Of course, you won't be able to rely on the newcomer Akasaka-san either. He's been on a private couple's hot springs vacation his wife's family set up for them since yesterday. In other words, all the bases are covered.
Who is this gonna be?
This is that's being revealed. I don't know.
Let's say it's still Shion talking.
Oh, this is still Shion talking.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're so naive, Kei-chan. Even characters who have art are able to reveal their true form in the darkness. Chie-sensei!
Huh? What? That's how it is, my Barakun.
It's dark, so I can't really tell, but it seems like Chie-sensei's outfit is different. What are those? All those swords in her hands.
So there's this great scene in Tsukihime where if you bother Chie enough, just trying to, like, for no real reason, she will just start geeking out on and on and on and on and on about how cool her roll-up swords are. They're scripture swords. Like, the scene takes forever to play. You don't have to in order to move on. In fact, the game thinks is like you probably should move on now. But if you keep pressing it, she will just talk to you about swords for far too long.
Fantastic. Her body is made out of swords.
Yep. And she's got her fucking Iron Maiden shenanigans. Whatever. It couldn't be. The black... Right, we can't say those. Any more than that... Oh.
Any more than that is a secret. Nipa.
My Barakun. That was just a little bit too much mischief on your part. The church cannot overlook any more than this. I'm so glad
Higurashi teacher is now Catholic.
I'm so glad I played Tsukihime before this. All of this is hitting even harder now. Wait a minute, wait. There's no way, right? That's cheating. It's against the rules. She can't do this, right? Wait, you can't use that big one. Huh? Her arc drive is startup invincibility? The 7th... Oh! Did you know Chie is Seal? Did you?
Now
Did you get
know.
it? Did you get the joke? That all of our extra work was payoff just for that one scene.
Yep. Had to go read the entirety of Tsukihime for that moment and go find how to play all the mini games for Higurashi. But it all pays off.
It all pays off in the end.
Haha. Hello again. Thank you very much for playing Higurashi When They Cry, Himatsubushi. I think you already know this, but Higurashi When They Cry is a type of visual novel without any choices. Except in the remakes where choices were added.
Except for that one tip section.
And except for that one tip section. Therefore, compared to adventure-type visual novels with branching routes to take, it's much closer to the experience of a book or a movie. Because of that, there is the opinion out there that this should not be called a game per se. If you're just watching it like a book or movie, Higurashi When They Cry isn't really a game, true. That's why, as you know, there are a lot of mysteries referenced during the course of the experience. When you challenge those, this work will become a proper game.
I take the other opinion that it is a game, and if you don't think it is, then you're all cowards.
All the players have the privilege of scrutinizing this mystery-packed story from all sorts of angles. For example, forming a theory about the mysteries during the course of the story, Sharing them with your friends and receiving their theories in return could be fun.
Wow, could you imagine trying to theorize about the story as you're going along and then sharing that with a bunch of people and then receiving their questions and feedback in return? Man, what if we did that?
In any case, the next chapter starts the answer arcs. We've tentatively called it Mayakashi, but answers are a sad thing. Based on what is revealed, all the possibilities that you were allowed to imagine until now will suddenly become refined down to a few. Based on that logic, we think that right here before the answer arcs is probably where people can enjoy this work we call Higurashi when they cry the most. If by chance, while you are reading this, you already have the Mayakashi chapter at hand, please enjoy hypothesizing, theorizing, and fantasizing to the fullest before you start. That's where the real charm of the series takes place. Sorry for saying something so impudent. There's nothing better we'd like than for you to enjoy Higurashi when they cry. Well then, have a long and pleasant night. We're waiting for you all in Hinamizawa. If you come and play with Rena, I'd love to go treasure hunting together. Ah.
Yay! I also like how it's like, yeah, that's exactly what we've been doing. And much, I guess I might as well say this now. Much like Umineko, we will be taking an extended break from this series now.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen is we're going to stop recording here for now and wait till everything goes up. We will have the chapter 4 talk back.
Yep.
That'll go up in a little bit. You won't have to wait long for that. But there will be a sizably long gap before we get to chapter 5. And that's because I'm going to be going back and rewatching everything and refining all my theories and having a good time hypothesizing before we get to the final answer, before we start the answer arcs.
Yeah.
And then at that point, we'll do another discussion episode based on all of the question arcs.
Yeah.
You'll know when that's coming. You probably won't hear anything about it on the YouTube channel before it goes live, but like if you're in the Discord, at some point we'll be like, hey, we're getting ready to do the big wrap, the big question arcs discussion soon and solicit some questions and stuff then. In the meantime, we are going to play a ton of other things on the channel. There's a couple of games I know people have been asking us for that we haven't had time for yet, and we're going to take a good break to just make sure I take enough time to properly, immerse myself in the mystery and spend my time with it, and to make sure that it just doesn't kind of get, overwhelming or overstay its welcome. So, again, I won't give you promises about when the date will be, that it returns. Just know that it will be back, and when it is back, that it'll be better for the wait.
I can give you promises. The series will come back when something else cries.
We can't promise that because we haven't played any Chiconia yet. But, of course, before we finally finish everything off, we got one last thing for you.
So that totally says welcome with 2 L's.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's welcome like hell come to Hinamizawa.
Anyway, now.
Oh, shit. Did we do that?
Yes, we did.
Shit. I forgot. It was last night. Forgive me. Anyway, yes, there is one last minigame. Apparently, there are no more games past this point. But they've already proven to be crucial background details that would have left you confused reading the main material if you hadn't followed along with them. So I think it's already been justified, all of our time spent on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. This one is Rika strolling, right?
Yeah.
All right. Mew, start game. See, she's not beating the cat allegations. All right. Mew. Strolling Rika-chan. How do we do this? How do I do this? I need controls.
It'll tell us.
Maybe.
It'll tell us.
I want to believe. Choose a difficulty level. Hard, normal, easy, or let's do tutorial first.
All right.
The operation manual for Rika. Rika-chan bobs up and down as she strolls. When Rika-chan gets to the very bottom, she makes this sound. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Left-clicking immediately after you hear that sound will cause her to accelerate toward the left. I didn't hear the sound. But if you right-click instead, if the timing is off, then Rika-chan will topple backwards and accelerate toward the right. She'll gradually accelerate back towards the right if you don't press anything at all, so stay focused. Oh, this is gonna suck so hard, I might... During the game, Rika-chan may suddenly start meowing. Okay. Remember, I don't have headphones on for this, so... When she does, look out, danger is near. You'll need to quickly move her to the left or the right for safety. Sometimes you'll see an arrow when danger approaches. Immediately left-click for a left arrow, right-click for a right arrow, or hit the enter key for a down arrow, pretty please. Hinamizawa is fraught with peril. Rika-chan's fate is in your hands. Well, this is going to be super hard, but I'll try my best. You ready?
I'm ready.
Only you can keep her safe. All right. I believe it. Choose a difficulty level. Let's do easy.
Yeah.
Kitty cat Rika-chan is a playful kitten who lives at Furude Shrine. Having been lured outside by the warm sun, she's all set to go strolling around Hinamizawa. But the village is fraught with peril. Will Rika-chan really be able to make it home safe and sound?
Mew. Grin.
Rika-chan goes to Hinamizawa. Guide Rika-chan off the left side of the screen. Don't wander off the right side or else it's game over. Okay. Nice. Okay, I kind of don't need to hear the sound to just notice the up and down part, right?
Seems like it.
All right. Oh no, it's running. Shake her off with lots of left clicks. Rika-chan finally escapes from Reno by ducking into a large white building and scampering down a narrow corridor. But what in the world is this place? It's all full of strange and menacing instruments.
Mew.
Oh no! I pressed the wrong button! Oh no! And Coach got her!
Mew.
Yes, let's try that part again. Oh, it even resets you right at nothing better than a minigame full of QuickTime events.
Yeah.
Mew.
Well, what have we here? Why, it's a cute little kitty. I think I'll catch her and make her my pet. Come here, girl. Let's take your temperature. Mew.
Mew, I hate playing doctor. Rika-chan left or right in order to stay out of Erie's grasp. Don't get caught or go off screen or else it's game over. Oh, okay. Oh, this is so weird. Mew, she went off screen. I don't know how I'm meant to control her during this part.
Yeah, it seems he just kind of goes straight up and down in whatever area he pops up on, so don't be on that area. And
it's more Rika-chan's, right, because she'll try to go back to the right if I don't guide her.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, we got this.
Oh shit. Uh-oh.
No! The thing is, it's so easy to accelerate toward the right, so I wind up just slipping and sliding off that direction. Oh, this is awful. But
Do you have to click, though? Like, what happens if you just don't click? She doesn't go that far, right?
Well, she'll start accelerating.
Oh, she accelerates. Okay, I understand the trickiness now.
All right, so we're... Just gonna approach. Let her bounce back. Oh, we made it out.
Success.
Oh, success! After escaping from the examination room, Rika-chan follows a sweet smell to a wonderful place full of delicious desserts. She can't help batting a paw at the shimmery black costume dancing before her eyes.
Mew. Purr.
Narrowly dodged the Tomatake.
Well, what do we hear? It's a cute little kitty. I think I'll catch her and take lots of trophy shots.
That's creepy as hell.
You can't have her, Tommy. She's mine.
That's also creepy as hell.
Okay, let's say the first one to catch the kitty wins. Now, that's a plan. I won't lose to you, Tommy.
Mew. Poor Rika. Angel Mort, a sweet trap? Guide Rika-chan left to right to avoid Tommy and Erie's undesired affections. Don't get caught or go off screen or else it's game over. I see this again.
Yep. Oh no.
No! I thought I was threading the needle there, but
Is
I
hitting enter an option in this?
It is. I should have done that. Maybe that makes you just stay put. Yeah, let's try that part again. Okay.
Okay, it doesn't seem to be.
It's really funny how Rika just kind of slides off the...
Whoa. Whoa.
Nah, it's alright. These are strats. She's wave dashing. Oh, we made
Success.
it! Success! Rika-chan slips out of Erie and Tommy's evil clutches and dashes off to a new spot. Just what kind of scary place does she find herself in now? Mew, there's no time to wonder because those creepy guys have caught up with her already. Oh no!
Whoa!
I pressed the wrong one. Oh,
Giant Oishi.
Mew! I'm so bad at this. All right. Quick time event. Boom! Oh, they got Oishi'd. Does a cute little kitty cat want to play Mahjong? Nice. With the three of us plus one, we can have a Mahjong marathon. Right, Tommy and Erie?
Yeah, I could go for a marathon session. Great idea. I sure won't be losing any money tonight. Go, fight, and win.
Mew! Well, can you get one of each of these real quick here? Just
Mew, mew, mew.
That's three.
Mew, mew. I'm not doing all of them.
it's 7 per line.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
then there's
doing them.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 76 Mews.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, you can insert that in post, SK. I'm gonna do that. I really hate marathon mahjong. Duck to keep from getting smushed by Cloud. Don't go off screen or it's game over. Okay.
Okay, so you have to wait till the down arrow shows to duck.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Oh gosh.
Hard game is hard. Oh fuck.
Mew. I don't. The hitboxes in this seem strange, but Rika's just too good at wave dashing. Okay, duck that one. I ducked again! I'm beginning to think this might not be the most fair game. I don't know what it is, but... Oh, no, she went away. All right, well. Rika's are dragged to the right side of the screen if you don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try this.
That's the curse of Oyashiro-sama.
That's the curse of Oyashiro-sama
It steadily pulls you towards the right side of the screen.
Down and to the right. Whoa. Oh, shit. I clicked outside the box. Fuck. Is this... let's keep Rika from getting predated on by 3 men. All right, ducked that one. Ducked that one. Ducked that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the strats. Got that one. Okay. All right, duck
Can you
that
escape
one.
Tommy?
Yep. What? No. You saw me duck. I'm beginning to think this might be some shenanigans. I think the thing is about building up momentum and trying to skirt by them. Nope. I just completely lost track of the rhythm there. The rhythm of the boogie, the beat.
I would have ripped the goddamn keys off the keyboard by this
Yeah, I want you to
point.
know how generous I'm being right now. I am.
I hate QTEs. I think they make every game worse.
It's fine. We're good here. Okay, dodging. Dodging.
Yeah.
Okay. Dodging. Okay. Dodging.
Back on screen, maybe? No.
No. Ah, shoot. I thought I had a good thing going there. How long is this section?
I assume you're right near the end of it at that point.
I must be. Woo! All right, got him. Okay, that's 2 Oishis dodged. Three Oishis dodged.
But can you dodge without being off screen here?
4 Oishis dodged. Five Oishis dodged.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I thought I was gonna skirt past him, but no. I was caught in a trap there. Couldn't do anything about that.
I feel like being at the screen edge is rough because you only have one direction you can go.
Yeah. I'm trying my best to find the pattern that keeps Rika best in place as best I can, you know? Dodging him. Dodging 2. Would you keep track of the Oishi dodges for me?
Three.
Thank you.
4.
Wow, that was a fast one, buddy.
5.
Awesome.
Oh. Nope. 6.
Okay.
7. 8.
Okay.
9.
There's 9. Oh, we got out. Oh.
There's nowhere left to run, girl.
Cornered you at last.
Here, kitty.
Now,
be a good girl and hop
in my
into
lap.
my lap. Meow.
Did Rika tunnel underground? Oh, nope, she ducked. And then Rena punch? Did Rena just do a gigantic Monty Python fist? Giants in the hills? Just follow the arrows to escape getting caught by the giant. Rika-chan won't hop like usual. You got it.
All right.
So this is just QTEs. Giant Rena. Hello, Rena. She is just fucking giant Monty Python. Ooh. All right. What do you need me to do? Yep. You got it. It's very generous on easy mode.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I have no desire to do this on any higher difficulty. All right. Ha ha ha! We dodged the giant.
Oh, hey!
Hooray, it's her master. Thank goodness. The master's sure to protect her.
Mew.
Aww. No!
What? The fuck, giant Rena?
Mew. Grin.
Sonic got away. All's well that ends well.
Well, that was absolutely crucial content
That was
right there.
so crucial content, right?
Glad we didn't skip that.
Oh man, I. On the one hand, yeah, I mean, demonstrably it paid off when we understood the references in the main story. On the other hand, no. No, it didn't. No one needs to do this with their time. Well, you know what? For completion's sake, I'm glad we did it.
Me too.
And I saw some folks on the sods who were like, yeah, you know, I'd never seen any of these before, so it's
Now you have.
yeah, now you have. For the sake of completion, I'm glad we did this. And considering how much other extra bullshit there is for us to play in the Higurashi, why not? Right? Why not? Anyway, we'll see you in a little bit when we do the discussion episode for Volume 4. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you then, everyone. Bye.
Peace.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.